Happy Friday. We've reached the end of the week. And how was everyone's week? It's good to check in. So if anyone's got something they want to report for the week, man, just shoot me a message, comment here. I don't really get on and check the comments. I'm sorry. I try not to scroll down my Facebook timeline as much as possible. I really give them. I just can't. It's difficult if I'm going on this for something very specific, very deliberate. But I'll try to manage that better. Responding to comments and things of that nature. I will do my best. So it's been an interesting week for me, kind of a roller coaster, not in a bad way. There's just so much to see, so much to learn, so much to know, and I feel like life is trying to teach me lessons like crazy, but that's what it is. So at the end of the week, we're just gonna wrap this up with a nice little bow, get ready for the long weekend. Memorial Day is celebrated here, so that's coming up where I'm going to be spending the weekend driving. So I'm going to leave here from Georgia, drive down to Florida and get my son, Mike Jr., drive him up to D.C., and then come on back to Georgia. But again, I'm going to start with a little something that I wrote not long ago. This one is called Mind. More vast than any universe, she is deep and complex and multidimensional, terrifying, wonderful, boundless, where there's neither up nor down, east nor west, past nor future, all exists at once. New thought galaxies are born every minute, cradled in the bosom of her life-giving energy until spirals of knowledge flower, unfolding like sequences Fibonacci. Old systems fade into nothingness or are swallowed by black holes of logic or are obliterated by dazzling supernovas of enlightenment. In her infiniteness, she lies largely uncharted, her dizzying natural beauty unseen, her secrets not secrets at all, just not yet sought. But I am adventurous. So that is mind. As we wrap up this first week of Manipura chakra, I haven't done too much digging in. Again, I'm leaving this more of kind of a superficial, a surface view, an intro, if you will, to each chakra, because it can be a rabbit hole. Each chakra on its surface is just this thing, but it is each is its own just world of understanding, of change, of growth, of questions to ask, of aspects of self to consider. And in the Manipura chakra, we again develop our sense of self, our sense of individualism, of identity, separate from the group. And I read something that says being spiritually mature doesn't mean sitting in your place and in a passive way, but it's more. It is more of an active and intentional, deliberate thing. It is making choices. It is understanding the power behind decision, the responsibility behind choice, and making choices actively in a direction that we intentionally want to go. And that takes time. It takes practice. It takes patience with ourselves and patience with others. And it does take really making decisions and seeing the value, the power in making decisions instead of sitting back and waiting. We develop this faculty. We develop the decision-making faculty by making decisions. And so I am, if there's anything that I've been sitting on the fence about, I'm gonna address that in the next couple of days as I move through this, because there are some things it's sometimes feels difficult to implement stuff or to move forward or to make certain decisions because of the certain I'm sorry because of current circumstances. But in retrospect, when I look at times that I've used those as reasoning behind them making decisions, I recognize that it was more of an excuse, and more born out of my fear of making that decision, my concern for what would happen if I were to make that decision. But again, I got this life, man, and I got to make it happen. So that's what I do day after day. So anyway, with that said, we're just gonna jump right on into it. Um, Seated or laying comfortably in a space where we can be for the next 15 minutes or so, hopefully undisturbed and able to sit without too much movement or distraction, and breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Eyes open, looking ahead with an unfocused gaze. Breathing in health, vitality, life, the possibility that comes with every day that dawns. And when we exhale, releasing fear, negativity, doubt, hopelessness. Or anything that has kept us anchored to a place in which we are not particularly happy. We release that. And we breathe in strength, hope, and with the next out breath, just closing the eyes and returning the breathing to normal, in and out through the nose. And as we settle in, we start to turn the attention inward. And we are aware of the space in which we are sat in 3 dimensions. The space above and below, in front and behind, to the left, to the right. And we notice our physical senses, the weight of the body pressing down against our seat, and feeling with intention that point of contact between our body and that upon which we are sat. And notice any sounds breaking the morning silence. We notice any distinct or strong scents that might be hanging in the air, and swirling the tongue around in the mouth, any tastes therein. And while we are still tethered to these physical sensations, we take a moment to check in with the body, to see how it's feeling today. And we'll we'll just scan up, starting from the soles of the feet, making our way to the crown of the head. Just scanning each part of the body, noticing how it feels, not stopping to linger if we come across areas of comfort or discomfort, of tension or relaxation. We're just noticing and asking, does the body and each part of it feel the same as it did yesterday or the last time we checked in? And now turning the attention to the breath. Without attempting to control or direct the breath in any way, just observing as the body does on its own what it does ceaselessly, day in and day out. And noticing specifically where we notice that rising and falling of the breath in the torso. Do we feel at the same place we felt the last time we looked? Is it high in the chest, in the lungs, that rising and falling? Or is it in the diaphragm? Perhaps low in the belly? And just settling on that observation. And as we settle, we take a moment to begin our day with gratitude, searching our mind for that for which we are thankful today. Today I am thankful for everyone that is currently in my life, everyone that has ever been in my life, no matter the dynamic of the relationship. For even long after our interactions have ceased, I continue to learn from everyone that has ever been a part of my journey. And so I say aloud, thank you. And ahead of any thoughts or feelings, the mind and body may toss out throughout the course of this day, we set the tone. We determine, we affirm and intend. I am a powerful and creative being. I make decisions boldly, understanding how they line up with the goals I have set. I am free of fear, doubt, and expectations. I am thankful for my life every day. I am open to learn what life looks to teach me through my day-to-day interactions. I am responsible and accountable for all my words and actions, understanding how they ripple into my future. I am a beacon of light and love everywhere I go. I deliberately cultivate a strong energy so that I can respond in a loving and kind way to all. And with our intention set for the day, we return the fullness of our focus to the rising and falling of the breath, just watching it for a few moments. If counting helps to keep the focus, we will count the out breaths, but only to a count of 5 before starting again at 1. If the mind begins to wander, it's okay. But the moment we notice, we'll just retrain the focus on that rising and falling of the breath. It's perfectly natural for the mind to wander. But if it does, refocus on the breath. If we forget where we left off counting, we can just start back at 1. And for just a few moments, releasing all focus and allowing the mind to do whatever it wants, to think about whatever it wants, to go wherever it chooses. And shifting the focus back to the breath as we once again re-enter the world of the physical realm, becoming aware once again of the space in which we are sat, the place where our body is physically situated at this moment, and tuning back into our physical senses, feeling the weight of the body pressing down against our seat, and feeling the contact between the seat and the body, noticing intentionally that contact, the contact between our hands and arms and our lap. Tuned into any sounds, any strong smells or distinct aromas, as well as any taste in the mouth. And slowly, gently opening the eyes, but remaining in our current position and looking ahead with that same unfocused gaze as we connect to and pull from that space of meditation our intentions, our gratitude, our tone for the day. And that's that. As I said in the beginning, a spiritual journey is an intentional one, as much as a journey of fitness, or a journey of physical health, mental health. Going to the gym once a week will get results. Going to see a therapist once a month will get results. But the deliberateness and the consistency with which we do anything, our spiritual journey included, will determine the real results. Sometimes these things are hard, and we're not in that kind of culture. It sometimes seems that we're in a spiritual culture because of all the things that are around. But how I view it is a very superficially spiritual culture. It is doing the ritual things and going to the places without truly taking the time to understand the why, the underlying things behind why those things are being done, or really calling to mind the things that these rituals are supposed to call to mind. So, my spiritual journey is an active one. It is one in which I am enmeshed day after day, and the results of that have been and will continue to be the fruit of the intention of my practice. So have a great weekend. Spread light and love everywhere you go. Be mindful of the decisions that we are making from moment to moment, the opportunities to make decisions that sometimes we push aside because we are indecisive or fearful. Just bear in mind how our path in life is being created every moment of every day by not only every word that comes out of our mouth, but every decision that we make or fail to make. And that's it. All right, I love you, and we'll do this again on Monday.